If you haven't subscribed to this channel, do it now. I've been told I'm the Marcus Brownlee of cars, only older and not as cool. The mid-size pickup market is thriving. Chevy, GMC, Honda, Jeep, Nissan, and Toyota are all battling for your bucks. Ford's soldier in this fight is Ranger, and it's new for 2024. To think the folks in Dearborn abandoned this segment in the US in 2012 for years? The reasoning? Ranger wasn't significantly more affordable than F-150, so why bother? Well, it turns out plenty of buyers think full-sized rigs are too big, people in crowded urban areas, or adventure seekers navigating tight trails. When Ranger was relaunched stateside in 2019, Ford was on track to sell 100,000 copies annually until the pandemic messed with production. Now, things are heating back up. The top seller in this segment is Toyota Tacoma, which is all new. Finally, I think the only carryover pieces are nuts and bolts. The 2024 Ranger is also new, but not all new. For example, the fully boxed frame is a modified version of what was found underneath the outgoing Ranger. Wheelbase and track are up by 2 inches. This is essentially the same architecture found underneath Bronco. A base rear-drive Ranger XL, MSRPs for $34,300 with destination. This well-optioned mid-level four-wheel drive XLT stickers for $47,400. Slash $1,000 off that by dropping the azure gray metallic paint, but I'll admit it's a fetching look. For the premium experience with leather buckets and upgraded Bang & Olufsen sound, consider the Lariat trim. Pile on the options and it scrambles past $52,000. Cab and bed choices are, well, not a thing. At least at the moment, Ranger is strictly a crew cab with a 5-foot bed. For the few of you that want a smaller cab, sorry, Toyota and Nissan have options. One thing I've always liked about GM pickups, they have a boot cutout, so it's easy to hike yourself up to reach into the bed. Ranger has something similar. It's larger. I can get both my size 11s in here. Nice. Get past the lockable and dampened tailgate, and Ranger has a useful bed. Construction is metal. Choose between an optional drop-in or this spray-on bed liner for protection. Max payload is 1,805 pounds. It's 94 less with four-wheel drive. The requisite tie-downs are here, LED lighting too. An optional package adds perimeter illumination. 400-watt power is standard when going with XLT. Ford's engineers expanded the space between the wheel wells, so 4-foot wide sheets of drywall and plywood slide between them, not on them, so Ranger works like a larger truck. Like Big Brother F-150, Ranger measures up. These slots for clamps are brilliant. Honda Ridgeline, Jeep Gladiator, and Nissan Frontier run with naturally aspirated V6s. Turbocharged 4-cylinder engines are gaining ground in this segment. It's what GM and Toyota offer. Ranger's carryover turbocharged 2.3-liter 4 packs 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. An optional 2.7-liter turbo V6 punching out 315 horses and 400 pound-feet is on the way. XLT uses a physical key? FYI, Ranger Raptor upgrades to a 3-liter V6 with 405 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. Ranger can't be had with a manual. This is a 10-speed. Love the traditional Prindle shifter, even if it does hog up console space. No steering wheel paddles, manual cog swaps are done here. Ranger can be had as a rear-drive 4x2 or 4x4. The optional FX4 off-road package is not on my tester. It would add trail control, a few more off-road modes, plus rugged tires and underbody protection. This has the optional electronic locking rear axle, though. Got trailer? The optional advanced tow package with backup assist is the best in the biz. Speaking of, max towing is 7,500 pounds. If you're buying your pickup for 0 to 60 runs, Colorado and Ranger will hit that mark in the same 7 seconds. Tacoma, maybe a skosh slower. Not sure it's going to make a big difference in the real world. There's good pull off the line, and even listening closely, there's little to no turbo whistle. And yeah, I can still hear in that frequency. Also, when it comes to engine smoothness and turbo fours, the Ford's is definitely the winner here. Drive the Toyota and $10 says you'll hear the turbo whistle straight away. Both it and GM's fours have grainier natures to them. Road and wind noise are not an issue in Ranger. This is a pretty quiet pickup truck. As far as the ride quality goes, the suspension is set a bit on the firm side, but that keeps body roll and dive down, and this is never uncomfortable. Overall, it's a pretty good setup. The rear shocks and their mounts are now outside of the frame, improving drivability. Ridgeline is the most docile of the bunch and car-like. Don't diss the unibody Honda. It's capable and will take care of most owners' needs. Ranger hustles down twisty roads quite nicely with good steering response. There is a little bit of a dead spot on center, pretty typical for a pickup truck. On straight sections, not a lot of micro corrections. That's great. Ford's Co-Pilot 360 suite of active ADAS safety tech that's standard on XLT is high on features. Driving out to the Toolies here, the adaptive cruise and lane keeping were confident and spot on. No wandering in the lane, no abrupt moves. Kudos to the Ford transmission engineers. This gearbox is always, and I mean always, in the right ratio. You hardly even notice it doing its job. At around 4,400 pounds with four-wheel drive, some see Ranger's smaller size as a minus. For others, it's a plus, and you know who you are. Full-size trucks aren't much fun to drive in town. Same with parking garages, where I always wonder if that max height measurement is accurate. The ride height is elevated, just not at the 30,000-foot level. Nearly all modern pickup trucks have fuel-saving automatic engine stop-start systems, and they really do save fuel. Let's check out the Ranger's system. On shutdown, it's pretty smooth. To wake the engine up, you have to hit the throttle. It's relatively smooth. Chances are you won't shut it off. Ranger is bigger, and theoretically that means more aerodynamic drag, but the EPA rates the fuel economy, which is 22 miles per gallon average, the same as the outgoing Ranger, and it's better than Tacoma at 21 and Colorado 20. Not much of a difference, but you know, every little bit helps. Pickup truck owners aren't looking for Lincoln-grade interiors. Still, at $47,000, good to see a much improved ambiance. This is, after all, what owners stare the most at. Plastics are hard, but look good in most places. Textures are interesting. It all looks durable. Okay, the seat fabric looks a bit thin, but certainly Ford has tested the durability, right? The chairs themselves are heated and comfortable enough. Bigger drivers shouldn't have issues. Storage is all over the place. Maybe not the way Maverick packs in cubbies and slots, but there's a place for everything and everything in its place. No doubt this shelf will be handy. Energy bar, anyone? Eyeballs will go directly to this 12-inch screen running the Sync 4A user interface. Bigger than GM's display, smaller than Toyota's, response is excellent, and voice commands are solid using the wake phrase, "Okay, Ford." Icons and fonts could be larger though. The vertical orientation means checking the lower third of the screen takes eyes off the road in a major way. Happy to see hard buttons for the HVAC system. Those can be used by Braille without looking. Wireless phone charging? Check. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are also wireless. The unbranded sound system in the XLT is surprisingly good with tight, accurate bass, that's never boomy. Looking for epic backseat room? Well, maybe consider a full-size pickup truck. None of the mid-sizers have loads of space back here. But that said, at 5'9", I'm okay in Ranger. Headroom? That's pretty good. Swing around here and I'll show you that knee, leg, and foot room. Also good. Thigh support is decent. It's easy to get in and out. The same useful pockets up front are here as well. Remember, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Pickups are about utility, no pocket here. Come on, Ford. At least it's easy to power things up. I like the 120-volt outlet. No separate climate zone or adjustable vents. The storage spot is nice. The center spine, that's about average. Cuts into footroom a little bit. The bench is wide enough to take on 3 average-sized adults. 2 will be happier. If you want to stash things away, tools will store there. You can also put them behind the seat, or you can lock something big up. But notice anything about this situation? Yeah, these don't split. That would be nice. The Ranger faithful will spot this as a new truck. Not so sure about the average Joe or Jane. The Ford vibe is strong here. C-clamp daytime running lights, an embossed tailgate Mr. Magoo can read, and of course this. Ranger is now big enough that some, at least briefly, think it's an F-150, but it does lack the signature downward jog here. There's a swage line in the side flanks evading my camera that gives it some gravity. Ranger is a handsome truck that isn't trying overly hard to show off built Ford tough testosterone. Oh, and I wish more automakers did this. It's easy to set your own code in the menu. Time for red light, green light? I think so. Green lights. The 2.3-liter EcoBoost is a smooth, powerful operator, and more options are on the way. Ranger's driving dynamics are excellent for a body-on-frame pickup. Very happy to see a better cabin experience, and the wider bed has much the same utility as a 1500 truck. Yellow lights. Ranger's trim size means relaxed urban driving, but a smaller back seat. The Sync 4A's big vertical screen that's crisp and responsive means looking way down for some controls. Best-in-class fuel economy is still not all that great. Waiting for the hybrid Ford. Red light. No manual transmission or push-button start on XLT. Plus, XLT's seat fabric has a budget-grade look and feel. No split back seat either. Adding that would help utility. The bigger Ranger is better. I'm generally not a fan of size creep, but it gives this mid-size machine more of a full-size truck work ethic. Plus, give Ford props for offering the smaller Maverick. In the last 3-4 years, things have changed significantly in this segment. A lot of the major players are refreshed. Competition is fierce. Ranger has a lot to offer. I know pickup owners are notoriously brand loyal, but these things are not inexpensive these days. Do yourself a favor. Test drive. For many, Ranger will be the perfect size. Pickups are tools, and as always, it's best to have the right one for the job. So how small or big is Ranger? Well, at 210 inches long, it's only around 4 inches shorter than a 1985 F-150 extended cab. The modern version is 21 inches longer than Ranger.
Risking life and limb today, truck bro, Rob Calero.
Thanks for driving.
Thank you.
Special thanks to those contributing to the Driven Coffee Fund. Rob's choice this morning was a tall caramel latte. What every pickup driver drinks, right? Before I go, I wanted to remind you that I've got a buying service, and if you use it, it helps to support this channel so I can do more car reviews instead of working at McDonald's to pay my bills. I haven't talked about it recently because, frankly, with the supply chain shortage and all, there haven't been any deals. But these days, the lots are filling up, there are incentives, and dealers are dealing. So give it a try. I wouldn't offer this if I didn't think it worked. I'll put all the information here. and I'll put a link in the video description. Really, try it. It works. Thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to hit 1 million subscribers. I think this channel's worth it. If you have a question, leave it in the comments. Follow me on social media and all that. Thanks for watching. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.